Hello, and welcome to another edition of AppSec Decoded. I'm Taylor Armerding, security advocate with the Synopsys Software Integrity Group, and today we're going to be talking about the latest Building Security in Maturity Model, better known by its acronym BSIMM. That's an annual report by the Synopsys Software Integrity Group, and it's on software security trends and what works and doesn't work in developing mature SSIs, or software security initiatives. And joining me to talk about it is Jamie Boot, principal consultant with the Synopsys Software Integrity Group, who had a major role in researching and producing the latest BSIMM report. So, Jamie, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with the basics. The BSIMM is maturing itself. It's now moving into its mid-teens. But the overall goal has remained the same since the start. So talk just a bit about what the BSIMM is, how the data for it is collected, and what that goal is.
Sure. So the BSIMM report that was released is an annual update of, a summary of all of the assessments that we've done over the past year. There's also a BSIMM framework, which includes all of the activities that we've observed software security initiatives doing over time.
Right.
So there's things around technical controls, doing software testing. There's things around having governance. There's things around training. And we wanted to capture what companies were doing to build secure software. So it never was a prescriptive framework. It never was a series of bars that you needed to meet. It was a way of describing the shape and coverage of your existing software security initiative. And we've gone out and measured the shape of various software security initiatives according to verticals, according to age, according to size. And we bring all of those results back. We anonymize them to make sure that individual scores aren't compromised. And then we run analysis on it and bundle up all of that analysis into the annual report.
For years, the mantra in the software security industry, I heard it constantly at conferences, was shift left, as in start doing testing, software security testing, at the beginning of the software development life cycle rather than at the end, which is better than just doing it at the end, obviously. Mm-hmm. But more recently, the BSIMM has called for a, quote, shift everywhere philosophy, with the caveat that this does not mean trying to do all the security things everywhere in the SDLC. So what does it mean?
Sure. So from a definition standpoint, shift everywhere means running the right size test at the right time as soon as you have something that you can run a test on, and getting the results to the decision maker who can make the call at the right time. Yep. So instead of just shifting everything as soon as possible, even shifting testing before the point it makes sense, shift everywhere is a philosophy about bringing security everywhere it needs to be and infusing the entire SDLC with just the right amount of security to control risk as developers and testers and architects, do the various actions that they need to build software. So it's a way of taking, the day-to-day of building software and turning it into building software securely.
Right, exactly. Right test, right time. Okay, well, we can't discuss software security trends without noting that artificial intelligence, AI, in addition to taking the rest of the world by storm, is already being embedded into software development and security. It's being used to design applications and hardware, to create and test software, and in all other parts of the software lifecycle. But as every technology does, AI comes with both benefits and risks. So talk just a bit about those.
Right. So the benefits, the reason that it's being adopted everywhere is because it allows software to perform tasks, like you said, design software, run tests, write code that previously software wasn't really geared for. but the machine learning models have enabled software to do new things, and companies are using it to do new things.
Mhm.
The drawbacks are that the same way that a human could have made mistakes while doing those things, drawing a design that had a flaw in it, writing code that has a vulnerability in it,
Right.
running a test and missing a security vulnerability. Those are all concerns that can still happen with artificial intelligence and machine learning driven tooling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your drawbacks are along the same lines of, well, previously, if you had a developer who wrote a SQL injection,
Mhm.
you could have gone to the developer and say, don't do this again. And then they take it as a learning opportunity. They figure out the right way to do things. And that they are less likely to, write a security vulnerability in the future after they know about it.
Right.
The machine learning tooling, the AI, doesn't necessarily have that self-corrective initiatives.
Yeah.
And so you need to treat all of the outputs from the tooling as if it's coming from a developer who isn't as skilled or as able to learn and react to previous corrections.
Right. So AI needs adult supervision, right?
Yes, 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 and it also operates. The upside is that it operates a lot faster than
Yeah.
humans.
Oh, yeah.
AI can crank out code and designs and text at the rate of modern computing, which is pretty dang fast. But if you're also not checking it for vulnerabilities, it can write vulnerabilities pretty dang
Right.
fast as well.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Get you in trouble faster. Right.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Another major trend in software development is the use of third-party and open source software, which has numerous advantages, obviously, but it also means that you're getting a ton of your software externally.
Mhm.
And so, of course, that means you have a supply chain, which can carry hidden risks. And so one of the more significant increases in security activities is the creation of bills of materials, software bill of materials, for deployed software, known by the acronym SBOM, which I love, SBOM.
Right.
So what are the benefits, but also limitations of SBOMs?
Right. So the first step in managing risk, which is really why we're here to manage risk in the software portfolio.
Right.
And the first step in that is understanding just everything you can about what's going on. So that way you can begin to recognize hotspots, recognize issues, and, risk you don't know about is risk you can't control. So this is the first step in controlling that risk, where you're just writing down all of the components that you're including in your software. To speak in a metaphor, it's akin to the ingredient list on the side of a cereal box.
Sure.
It's the nutritional information, the list of ingredients. You can look over an SBOM and you can at a glance, begin to recognize some risks in the code. If you have libraries that you are metaphorically allergic to, maybe because they have a license that's incompatible with how you develop software,
Right.
you can have license risk. If you have components that are old or out of date that contain vulnerabilities that will make your software sick, you can highlight those in the SBOM, much like you can say that, if I eat this ingredient, it will make me sick. And those are the kinds of decisions that you can make from it.
Mm-hmm.
But even though it's a really good start in controlling the risk, in getting an understanding, it's not the whole picture. Building an SBOM and packaging them with your software provides valuable information, but it's not enough to really control all of that software supply chain risk. So just like having a list of ingredients and a list of nutrition information isn't enough to really build a fully balanced diet, you need to understand more context, more information, your individual needs. Your software supply chain risk management strategy is also going to need a lot more information, a lot more context, and be tailored to your specific needs.
Final question here. We have a brand new BSIMM. It's coming out just this week. So if you were doing a brief elevator pitch for the BSIMM to an interested party, how would you advise that person or that organization to use it?
So the BSIMM is a fantastic data-driven ruler that you can use to measure your current application security program. And understanding where you need to be in the future and how to get there requires having a really firm understanding of where you are today. So
Sure.
using the BSIMM to understand where your program is, what your capabilities are, where your gaps are today is the first step in either fixing or expanding or growing your application security program as needed. And we also have a lot of insights and additional knowledge and some how-tos on how to use the data to move forward.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, I love the idea that you can, you're not being dictated to necessarily, but you are getting to see anonymized, what other people are doing and what works and doesn't work. Thanks to all of you for watching. Also, remember you can get the complete BSIMM14 report free by going to synopsys.com. So thank you for joining us. And until the next time, I'm Taylor Armerding with the Synopsys Software Integrity Group. We help organizations build trust into their software.